What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Screw Toy action figure review. And just a quick disclaimer, I want to say that I am currently sick, so I will be a little nasally, a little bit rough throughout this video. But I'm here thugging it out for y'all to give you a review on this very exciting figure, the Spidey 2099 retro card. Very excited about this figure. Quick shout out to Toy Maestro on Instagram for hooking it up and sending me this figure for me to review for you guys. So yeah, let's get a quick look at the packaging and then we'll get a quick look at the figure. Again, a quick look at the packaging. It is your standard retro card Spider-Man packaging. Same one that, Kingpin, Mysterio, Peter Parker, the retro Spider-Man, Electro all came in. You get the logo of Spider-Man from the animated series, Marvel Comics up here. A picture of Spider-Man 2099 from the comics right there. And then you get the accessories that it comes with, a web cape. It does come with it. It's just in the back. And he does come with hand accessories, so I don't know why that's not mentioned there. Warnings, don't eat it. On the back, you get a picture of the same logo from the animated series, Spider-Man 2099. And then the old Toy Biz retro cards used to have the gimmick pictured right here in this little diagram. Here, it's an action figure. It doesn't have a gimmick, but it does have the interchangeable hands that it shows that you can do. And then you get a read up of the character right there. So if you want to pause it and read it now, you can. And then you get the barcode down there and not much more. And let's crack this bad boy open. And now getting a closer look at all the accessories he does come with. The first one being this cape that he came with before. It is, just a translucent white plastic or translucent clear plastic, and it does have all these nice web details in there, some rips, some tatters, so it does look old and worn. That is very nice. I believe the previous one was a lot more like a milky white, so I do like that this one is translucent. It actually does look like webs, and it does peg into the back of his back fairly easy. Now getting a quick look at all the hands he does come with. He comes with the open splayed out pokey finger hands that he originally came with. He also does come with a pair of fists, and he also does come with a pair of jazz hands. No, I'm just playing. He does come with a pair of wall crawling hands. And I do like the assortment of hands that he does come with. All the hands are, in this nice blue. But what I really like is that the arrow on the back of the hand is red. So they decided to cast this hinge in a red plastic so it can continue on. Back then they would have just, painted that red and it would have eventually chipped off. So I do like that that is in a red plastic. I'm not too sure if the previous one was in a red plastic as well, but I do like that they did that. But he doesn't come with any whip hands, man, which is kind of odd, but it is what it is. And here is Spidey 2099 out of his packaging, and just straight up, man, I'm very, very underwhelmed by this. And there he goes. But as I was saying, I am very underwhelmed by this figure, mostly because it is just a re-release of the 2015 version of this figure. I wish they would have put him on the retro Spidey buck, but they put him on the same buck that he came with previously, and that is the Pizza Spider-Man buck. And at the time, that was a great buck, but now it is very outdated. It's been used so many times that I'm thinking that the mold that they used to cast this figure in is getting pretty beat up. As you can see, he doesn't crunch very much forward, and it doesn't even move none back, man, which is a pain in the ass. You can see some of the gappage that's going on here on the thighs. Since, that mold has been used so many times, it has been warped. But it's an okay figure. It would have been figure of the year in my opinion if it was on the retro Spidey 2099 buck, but obviously we didn't get that, and it still has the pins. So on the other side where it's supposed to be red, it's blue. Just very weird choice by Hasbro to just re-release this figure, man. Again, I wish it was on the retro Spidey buck with pinless arms and pinless legs, but this is what we get. But just getting a close look at him, it is, the same Spidey 29 that we got previously. Just the blue is a little bit different, a lot more metallic, and then the red is a little bit more vibrant, I believe. But it looks good, man. Again, just very disappointed. And I'm going to keep saying it. I am very disappointed that it's not on the retro Spidey 2099 buck. But not much to look at, man. It is just mostly all metallic blue. The serial numbers are on the inside of the thighs. I wish they were at the bottom. You get the cape again, just pegs in fairly easy to the back, but not much more to look at, man. It is, again, same figure that we got previously. I really like these spikes right here. The red paint goes all the way throughout the chest, connects to the skull. And man, I can't stop saying how much I am disappointed that it's not on the retro body, man. Really kind of ruins this figure for me because it is a missed opportunity. But yeah, man, not much more to look at. Let's get a quick look at some articulation. So we've seen this body plenty of times. Again, it is the standard Peaks of Spider-Man buck. So it is on a ball and hinge. So without popping the head off, it does look up a great amount. And it does look down a fair amount. So you can bury the chin. His arms are on ball joints inside of a butterfly joint. So it shifts a little bit in, not much, but it does shift a little bit more out. Again, they're on ball joints, so it does rotate a full 360. He does have upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that do bend in a great amount, as you can see. And his hands are all on a vertical hinge, so they just hinge up and down and rotate a full 360. His abs, man, this is where it really disappoints me. I honestly don't remember the ab crunch being this bad on the previous Peaks of Spider-Man bucks, because it doesn't move, like literally it does not move back at all. Like it is completely stuck in there, man. That joint is not moving back whatsoever. And I don't remember it being that bad. It does hinge forward a lot better, but not much. As you can see, he does have a waist swivel, so that is nice. He does have upper thigh cuts, double jointed knees, and he can easily kick his own ass. And then his ankles were really stiff out the packaging, so I did have to heat that up. And as you can see, it still is pretty stiff, but it does hinge all the way up and all the way back. And he does have great ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of his feet. We're gonna look at some size comparisons. We're gonna have a little bit of fun here since it has been a while that I've reviewed a comic book figure, man. It's mostly been MCU lately, so we're gonna post them with a lot of Spider-Man figures, Spider-Man comic figures. So here we have them side by side by the retro Spider-Man, and as you can see that this buck is so much better, man. Even from day one, I've never been a fan of this Peaks of Spider buck. I always thought it was too skinny, too lanky. I know Peter Parker's not a big muscular guy, but I always thought it was way too skinny. And I know this guy isn't Peter Parker as well. This is Miguel O'Hara. But I just think that book is way too skinny and way too awkward looking, man. And it's just outdated and it shouldn't be used anymore, in my opinion. I know Hasbro likes to reuse bucks, but he should have came in this one, man. This one just looks a lot more pleasing to the eye. Aesthetically, it looks better and it stands a lot easier. It took me just to get him in this vanilla pose. It took me a while to get him to stand there, but it is because the joints and the sculpt of the figure is getting real weird and wonky, because it's been used so many times in that mode. And here we have him next to Electro, and even Electro looks pretty big next to Miguel. Electro's not supposed to be a big, huge villain, so I do feel like, again, this body is outdated and shouldn't be used for Spider-Man figures. Bringing in one of my favorite retro Spider-Man figures, here we have Mysterio next to Miguel. And I think these actually look pretty well, man. The blues and the greens really, there goes Mysterio. But the blues and the greens really help, make them pop. They really play well off each other. So this looks pretty nice. And here we have him next to Kraven. And I feel like these actually pair pretty well. Lastly, here we have him next to Spider-Man Noir. And hopefully we get to see these two interact in Into the Spider-Verse 2. Hopefully, Nicolas Cage comes back to portray Spider-Man Noir. Here is Spidey 2099 on the rotating base. And overall, man, pretty disappointed in this figure. Mostly because he's not on the retro Spidey buck. We have such a better buck for Spider-Man now, man. I'm not sure why they didn't put him on it. Instead, they put him on that outdated Peaks of Spidey buck. Like I said previously, I've never been a fan of this buck. I feel like it's way too skinny, way too lanky, and way too awkward looking. And again, it's outdated, man. That ab crunch that he has absolutely sucks. Those butterfly joints suck. The articulation is not the greatest on it anymore. Like I said back then, it was decent. Now we have this guy that just kind of, set the standard real high. So this is a standard that I want always or even more. So getting this guy is pretty disappointing, man. It is good for those people that missed out previously on this figure. This is an older figure. I believe the original release was back in 2015, and the resale price on this guy is absolutely ridiculous. I believe he's like $100, $150 I've seen him go for. So that's just insane, man. Unparalleled Universe said it best that the whole point of these Marvel Legends is that you can get a figure of a character that you absolutely love for an affordable price, which is retail $20. So going and spending $150 for a $20 figure, it just kind of defeats the whole purpose, man. But overall, man, giving this figure from 1 to 10, a rating from 1 to 10, I would give him a solid 7. He would definitely been like a solid 10 if he was on that retro buck. Even with the pins, man, I know these pins right here kind of bother me a little bit since it breaks up that nice red throughout the arm. Even if it came on this buck with pins, I wouldn't even mind it, man, because it would have been such an upgrade from this figure. But enough of me crying, man. I can go on and on how this figure could have been better. Obviously, the Hasbro team has its reasons on why they decided to just straight up just re-release this figure. But make sure you comment, like, subscribe, man. We're currently at 107 subscribers. Let's try to reach 300 by the end of September. I know that's a big goal to reach, but it is obtainable. So let's do it. I'm challenging y'all to do it. But enough of me begging, man. Yeah, again, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.